This is the Rays POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Tampa Bay Rays, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Hello and welcome to the Tampa Bay Rays POSTCAST, your spot for instant Rays reaction after every single game. My name is Jonathan Shields. Make sure you guys go follow me on Twitter at Johnny10Shields. What a win, guys. My goodness, what a win, what a win, what a win. The Rays have not had many of those wins recently, and just the momentum that came from it, the confidence that I think the Rays could take from this game is, I don't know, it could be worth more than anything. So what did you guys think of the win? Let me know in the comments right now what stood out to you guys, because there was games within the game in this one. Man, I mean, it was just hard to describe the fight that this team showed. I'll tell you what, it's hard. It's hard to be 5 games under 500, go down 6-3 on the road in those windy conditions, right? But God forbid this team keeps fighting, man. My gosh, just so enjoyable to watch. We're going to talk about how this was just a vintage Rays win. What a comeback it was. How Seymour saved the day, I thought, in the game. How the bullpen was so clutch. Oh my, I can't, beyond clutch that this bullpen was. We're going to talk about what to do with Joe Boyle. What we're going to do with Boyle, and then we're looking ahead to the game tomorrow. But first, we got to talk about the offense.
This is what you'll be talking about.
Remember when we talked about the Rays not responding when other teams score? Again, it goes to saying that the Rays play Rays postcasts in their clubhouse after games. What do they do this time? Giants score in the bottom of the first. Junior hits a home run, it's tied. Giants score 2 runs in the bottom of the second. What do the Rays do? Score 2 runs in the top of the third. I want to talk about those 2 runs. Wasn't at bat by Brandon Lowe in that third inning. That was a sneaky big at bat. Got down 1-2, fouled off some tough pitches, just kept on battling, did just enough to get in the outfield, went from there. Then Yandy, gets a little bloopy, right? A little bloopy hit. Doesn't matter. We'll take him all the way. 3-3. Third inning, the Giants score 3 runs. And, when Willie Adames hits home run, I take it. I love Willie Adames. I know a lot of you guys do too. I absolutely love Willie Adames. Just a great guy and a great teammate. You saw Yandy go give him a big hug. That warmed your heart. And then we get a little bloopy double from the Giants that make it 6-3. And man, I don't know how you score from first on that little hit that Bailey had, but whatever. What do the Rays do in the 6th inning? In the fourth inning to respond, score 3 runs. I love how aggressive Kevin Cash was. He took Fiducia out, who first of all hit 112 off the bat, the bat before, and he's a guy that I think he's going to end up being a good find for the Rays, because he's been putting the barrel on the ball. It's just a matter of time until he kind of starts to heat up. But he to pull a guy that just hit 113 of the gap for Christopher Morel. And Morel, I love the move. And Morel, pays it off, making contact, doing just enough, scores a run. And then obviously the big hit was Chandler Simpson. And that's where we get to our player of the game.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
I sent out a tweet, I think 2 games ago now, that what Chandler is doing is starting to become underappreciated, because all the hype was there when he came up, then he got sent back down. Then the hype was there again when he came back up, had the hitting streak, all of that. And, now he's just flying kind of under the radar. He hits lefties at an elite level for a guy's size. And that was such a huge moment of the game to tie the game. And then he ended up going 3 for 5 tonight. Had the single to send Fortes the third after he got hit by the pitch. He eventually scores the game-winning run. I mean, just nails from Chandler Simpson. He's a winning player. You love when the Rays' 2 youngest guys, Junior Caminero and Chandler Simpson, may not be young technically. I know juniors, but Chandler maybe not young age-wise in the majors, but experience-wise they are. And you just hear that they're grinders, guys that work hard. And that's what you want. That's what you want in building blocks for your team. Jake Mangum, again, not young. He's 29, not young by, traditional rookie baseball player sense. Young in experience, just plays hard, works hard. I mean, that's how you build that's how you build the chemistry. That's how you build the culture of the team. And Chandler doing that, I mean, his average back up to 307, man. And, doing it his way. It could have been 4 hits if it wasn't for a review that took away another one. He had an infield single. He had 2 line drive singles. I mean, just money moment after money moment for Chandler Simpson. Could not rave about him enough. Let me guys know what you guys thought about Chandler. I mean, he was fantastic tonight. And then, we're going to touch on the bullpen, but we got to get to the turning point, which was in the 8th inning.
Time to reveal where the game was won or lost. It's the turning point.
So we're talking about more about the bullpen in a second, but Uceta comes in and he immediately hits Schmidt, which again, he was like squaring, or he was going to swing, and I tell you what, he got a double whammy. Hit him in the forearm, and then hit him in for guys where you don't want to get hit, and it was tough because he swung, and so a break doesn't go the Rays' way, and then they get a single. Lee put actually a really good swing on the ball, and then Koss comes to square around a bunt. And by the way, Koss looks a ton like Matt Duffy. I don't know if you guys, the Rays got Matt Duffy from the Giants. I think it was 2017, 2018. It was definitely 2019 because he was on the team that beat the A's in the wild card. But regardless, they got him from the Giants. He looks a ton like him. I don't know if that was just me. And he gets hit by a pitch squaring the bunt. Another one where he pulled back, the changeup just ran in. And then Rays bring the infield in, bases loaded, no outs. The odds of you not giving up a run there are obviously not high. Line out by Bailey, the switching catcher. What a play by Ha-Seong Kim, first of all, to make a play on that, because that ball was absolutely roped off the bat. And he said 100 off the bat. Kim makes an insane play. And then, you go to the fielder's choice where, again, Seymour does just enough at first, gets the runner at third, and then, it got a little spicy with when Ramos came up, hit the Junior, got it to Bilal, and then boom. I mean, what a momentum shift. And the Rays come right back with that clutch hitting. When they know it's money time, man. And they get it to who they want up. One of Brandon Lau or Yandy Diaz was going to get that run home. Yandy does it in vintage Yandy style, going the other way with it, man. I mean, just money, absolutely money when the Rays need it most. And that's why I said it was vintage Rays, man. And when they scored their first runs, they were manufacturing runs, right? Chandler was beating out balls. They're going first to third. They're making the right move. That's vintage Rays baseball. And honestly, they've gotten away from that a little bit during this losing streak, but now they're starting to get back to it. You can see, I talk about the time when players come out of slumps, they're trying to start to show signs. The Rays as a team have shown signs over the last 2 weeks that they're breaking out of this. And again, they got incredibly unlucky. If the Rays don't make the playoffs, that loss in Seattle on that Friday night, a week ago today, is going to hurt. And they showed it that in that series, they're starting to come out of it. Then they got swept, and it was like they got knocked all the way back down the stairs. They're trying to climb back up. But now they're climbing up again. They're picking themselves off the mat again. But again, you're only as good as the next day in baseball. So we're gonna love this one. We're gonna celebrate this one tonight. But if you lose tomorrow, you're right back where we started. But we're not gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about this win. We'll preview the game tomorrow at the end. But we'll talk about the bullpen, specifically kind of the pitching in general and how the Rays can kind of rework that, and touch a little bit more about the offense because, man, it was just so clutch right after this. This episode is brought to you by 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. Time to fuel up and turn up with 5-Hour Energy Transfusion. The grape, ginger, and lime flavored shot brings iconic taste to a golf course favorite to a non-alcoholic boost. Perfect for sinking birdies or making great memories with friends. It's a hole-in-one for your energy game. Whether you're out on the course or just need a little extra push to push you through the day, 5-Hour Energy delivers the clubhouse flavor you'll love without ever leaving the green. And you guys, I mean, we know how late night Rays have been pretty brutal. It's 1:30 Eastern right now. It's not for the faint of heart. So I love all you guys for joining in here. Make sure to leave a like as well. But this is where 5-Hour Energy can come in, right? You want to set for the postcast, which I think everyone should. 5-Hour Energy can get you there. And golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape, ginger, lime flavor 5-Hour Energy Transfusion gives you the best parts of your clubhouse go-to without leaving the course or chasing down the Bev cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more just by snap and enter a chance to win a dream golf trip for 2 to any golf tournament in the USA. Tee up. Visit 5he-win.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Exclusive Masters Tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. Again, visit five-e-win.com for full rules and entry. This episode is also brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401k, properties, or investments. And when you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why Monarch Money it's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy to interface on your laptop or phone. Monarch does the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data, visuals, get smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching a spreadsheet. I linked all my accounts to Monarch and immediately spotted a few subscriptions I wasn't even using. And that is the best thing Monarch is for. You can cancel those and save money every single month. They'll let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB on monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. Again, if you guys are in the live, make sure to leave a comment down below. We will be getting to them momentarily, but let's talk about this bullpen, man. How clutch were they? The bullpen technically goes, even though Ian Seymour got the bulk innings. They went the last 7 innings of the game, gave up 2 earned, but again, so if you take out the 3rd inning, the Rays went the last 6 innings of the game, not giving up a run. Money. It went from Seymour, who was so good, 4 strikeouts. I mean, there was one at bat where Devers came up and Seymour just sat him down with the high fastball. I mean, it was pure. And then you go to Clevenger, whose stuff was filthy. 3 strikeouts for Clevenger. Struck out every single batter he faced. Griffin Jacks came in, did his thing. He'll be available to pitch tomorrow. Only 8 pitches. Edwin Uceta, we already talked about Uceta getting out that base loaded jam. And then, we got to talk about Pete, man, because, giving up the leadoff double, which, by the way, that Devers hit was a home run in 5 ballparks, not at Steinbrenner or obviously at Oracle. So if it's not a home run at either, I kind of let it go. But if this was at Wrigley or at Dodger Stadium or where the Brewers play, Citi Field or Camden Yards, that's a home run. So it is what it is. But Pete settled down and got the outs. Once Adames got out on the hard ground out to Ha-Seong Kim, I was more confident. I say hard ground out, 76 off the bat, but it was hit kind of in that in between. You're like, okay, what's he gonna do? And then when because there's so many changes, once Dominic Smith got out, who again I can't believe is sitting kind of clean up in the Giants order. Fitzgerald comes up and then you get him to pop out. But even when that ball was in the air, with the way that the winds were swirling, and I'm sure Josh Lowe cannot wait to get out of San Francisco already. I mean, he just had a hellish game and he's having a hellish season to begin with. But the way the winds were flowing, you were like, okay, it's just going to blow. You had to hold your breath again, but it did. It did indeed drop. So, I mean, this bullpen was due for some good luck eventually, right? And they've been starting to get it. They've been starting to stack together these performances with, you look at the names in the bullpen, guys, some legit freaking names. Pete Fairbanks, Uceta, Clevenger, Jacks, Baker. That's 5 guys you trust in kind of any spot for the Rays. Not to mention what Montgomery has done since the Rays brought him back up. You have Englert that has maybe, a top whatever changeup in baseball, probably the best changeup, him and Seymour on the Rays. I mean, again, that's 7 guys, 6.5. I'm still not all the way there, Montgomery, that you're semi-confident in going into a big spot. And that's basically like the entire bullpen at that point. So, I mean, you really cannot ask for any more for the Rays as they get their 60th win of the season, man. So, the bullpen has gone through hell, and I think it's time, we really give them their flowers. In fact, I did name the entire bullpen, except for Seymour, who again, Seymour might be sliding into that starting role. So again, what do we do with Joe Boyle? You guys let me know in the comments. What do we do with Joe Boyle? He's been struggling mightily with control, and when you don't control anything, even when you throw 100, hitters know the fastball is coming, and these are the best hitters on the planet. They can time it up and send it out, and that is what's been happening lately for Joe Boyle. So again, I think in a kind of a one inning capacity could fit him, but it's what are the Rays' kind of long-term goal with him? Is he a starter long-term in their eyes? If he is, you need to keep him in the rotation. It's as simple as that. Maybe you pitch him 2 innings and have Seymour back him. You could give Seymour 3 innings, Boyle 3 innings, but I don't like that because it basically burns one of your bullpen arms where you can only use them once a week. So it's gonna be interesting to see what the Rays do, but it's not. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting to see what they do because to me is what's your goal long term for Boyle? Do you want him to be a starter? Then you keep starting him. You let him work through these pains now. When even though the Rays are still within striking distance, he's pitching once every 5th day, right? So I would leave him as a starter. still pitch Seymour. So Seymour's probably down for the next 2 days plus the off day. So Seymour won't be available again until Tuesday, right? Still pitch Seymour if you need him. Don't hold Seymour out until you need to pitch him with Boyle, because again, that just takes away a bullpen arm for you. But yeah, so it's going to be interesting to see what they do. But let's preview the game tomorrow, because the Rays are facing a Hall of Famer, Justin Verlander, one of the three best pitchers of this generation. Not much to say about Verlander. He has been dominant for a really long time. He's won the Cy Young, feels like, a million times. Just as recently as 2022 and 28 starts, he had a 1.75 ERA, the best ERA of his career. So we know it is. I know, Verlander bullied the Rays in the playoffs when he was with the Astros. So, let's look at him this year. This year, it's not been good for him, simply put. In 20 starts, he's 1-9 with a 4.5 ERA. His strikeouts are down. The walks are up a little bit. Nothing concerning up by any means. But, it's hasn't been ideal for Verlander. His last time out, five innings, 11 hits, 5 earned. Not great. But before that, he was really starting to put it together. He went 15 innings, only allowing 1 run over his last 5 starts. But again, he hasn't gone past 5 innings in a month. In over a month. Since July 9th, he hasn't gone past 5 innings. And he didn't get his first win until July 23rd, guys. So he's really struggled. And the Rays are really swinging it right now. So again, this is a game that you should be confident in. I'm really interested to see what Adrian Hauser does, because obviously his 2 starts with the Rays have been pretty brutal, to say the least. He's given up at least 4 earned in both of them. But the way he battled against Seattle after he gave up the 4 in the first inning, he battled, and he gave the Rays a chance to win. I'm expecting to see more of the second half of that start against Seattle than the first half of the start. So, let me know what you guys think. But let's go to the comments as we go to Jack's takes, as he says, that was way too close, but nice to finally see one that kept holding on to it. It really felt like that was going to get away. Yeah, with the way the bullpen's been during that one stretch, you have to feel that way. But such grit from this team to come back, man. I cannot emphasize enough how many big at-bats, big pitches that this team had. It's just such a confidence win for the boys. Again, this is coming at the end of a 2-week road trip. To pick yourselves up by the freaking bootstraps and to keep fighting. Say what you want about this team. This team has heart. They might not win they might not make the playoffs. They might not win 80 games. But you cannot say this team does not have heart, man. They freaking battle. And sometimes, during that stretch, you have to sometimes question certain guys' effort. But you have not had to question the effort lately. So I don't know what was said in that clubhouse, but more of that. As good as Itzkai said, what a huge win. Felt like one of those season-changing games. And hopefully it is, man. The Rays are right there. If the Rays win every series the rest of the year, and that includes splitting the 2-game series with the Yankees, for example, that'll put them right around 86 wins. That puts you in the playoffs, most likely. So it might get to that number, might end up being more. But, again, if you lose a series, that means you have to sweep a team down the line. When you play, a 4-game series, I know exactly who the Rays play for 4, but you need to take 3 out of 4, for example. So everything is still in front of them. As we go to Gary, says Junior hits number 35. He's 6 all-time in Rays history for single season. Yeah, he's been fantastic, man. He has been fantastic, to say the least. As we go back to its cat, he says Kevin Cash deserves some credit for this game. He knew the situation this team is in and did whatever it took to not let the game get too far out of reach. Yeah, this was the Kevin Cash, 2-time manager year Kevin Cash today. He was in his bag today. As good, Alexander says, what can you do with Boyle? You got no one in the minors for him. Just let him figure it out. Now maybe an opener in front of him. Yeah, so he's not going down. I can assure you Joe Boyle is not going down the minors. He is kind of a developmental arm that pitched very well to begin the season. He has all the stuff. I think he has the intangibles. It's just limiting the walks, because the Rays, if the Rays lost this game, it would been because of the walks in the first inning. When you go back to this game, no one in the bullpen outside of Seymour walked someone. So Seymour and Boyle had a walk. The Rays did not walk someone for the last 4 pitchers that came in. Even Seymour had 1 walk. But in 2 innings, Boyle faced 7 batters, gave up 4 hits, he faced 9 batters, gave up, he faced 10. He faced Adames was 3. So, but regardless, he had 4 hits, one of which was the home run. He had 2 walks and then 3 strikeouts. that's kind of, it's been feast or famine. You still have the 3 strikeouts when he's only facing, 10, 11 guys, but it's the 3 walks kind of mixed in there as well. That, is never good. So, they're going to let them figure it out. But what I can figure out is that the Rays picked up a freaking massive, massive win. Jake Manum also thought was really good, clutch hits as well. We saw obviously Seymour's debut, 3 Seymours on the field at the same time after there wasn't even a Seymour in baseball before this year in 1911. Shout out Ryan Bass for that note. But yeah, everyone contributed, man. So not much you can say about this win, but we got to get out of here. Make sure you guys leave a like on your way out. We'll be right back here an hour earlier tomorrow night. Okay, guys? I mean, it starts, the game starts at 9 Eastern instead of 10:15 Eastern. So a little positive there. But again, I appreciate all you guys for joining. What a big time win. Makes doing all of this so much more enjoyable with you guys here every single night on this long road trip. I appreciate all you all so much, and I'll see you guys tomorrow night.